Hey, welcome to day 3, Drupal GovCon. Okay, we've got a quick announcement before I get into my announcements.
Hello, everyone. So I just have a quick question for everybody. Did you know that Drupal is being used to help end homelessness and save lives? Angie, a single mother who was living out of her car under the K Street Bridge in Washington, D.C., signed up to Hope One Source. And in a freezing cold hypothermic night, she received a vital notification that included information on how she could access emergency shelter that she direly needed that night, food, and later on, access to childcare as well as job placement. That was thanks to the efforts of volunteers from the Drupal community. If you want to find out more about how you can use your Drupal skills to help more Angies, more individuals experiencing homelessness, I will be handing out this sheet, actually multiple sheets, and we will be able to send you information to learn more. Thank you very much.
Please be sure to stop at his table as well as the other nonprofit tables over there. There's a table for diversity, Drupal diversity and inclusion, as well as University of Maryland project management. So please take advantage of them. Also, I should tell the story about yesterday. So yesterday we had leftover box lunches, and as you know, NIH does a lot of research related to biomedical and rare diseases, unknown diseases, and so forth. They actually have 2 facilities here. One is a Children's Inn and one's a Family Lodge. Those house people that are patients that go to the NIH Clinical Center. So if you're at clinical trials, many of them are run here. So either children or adults that have these rare or unknown diseases, experimental treatments, they're staying here. Well, yesterday we were able to take advantage of the leftover box lunches and actually ship them over to help out those families. So it was a great chance for us to give back to the community a little bit. So thank you. We want to again thank NIH and for the people behind the scenes, events management, Kathy Bass, for helping to make sure all of this goes smoothly. We are live streaming this right now, so there's a link on the website. If you're here, you don't need to do that. There are also many volunteers that work behind the scenes over the course of a year, helping to make this possible, from registration to figuring out the catering to figuring out the sessions and the schedule and all that stuff. So let's give all of them a round of applause. We definitely want to make sure we thank all the sponsors. Many sponsors have shown up on the screens here. I'll call out our core sponsors again: Civic Actions, Debug Academy, and Mobomo. Without all of their generous support, and this year we added individual sponsors as well. So individual people in the community that were also contributing to help make this event possible. So let's give all of our sponsors a round of applause. Quick reminder again that we do have a code of conduct, like with all conferences across the country and around the world. We're all striving to make sure that we have good policies in place to make sure that this is an inclusive and open and safe environment for everyone that's attending. So please make sure you're nice to everybody. And that includes the volunteers who have been putting in lots of hours to make sure. So if you're frustrated that your badge isn't right or that you didn't confirm for lunch and you weren't at the front of the line or the long line, please be patient, be kind, pause, breathe, smile, as my elementary school daughter is being told. Just be kind to everybody today. So thank you. Remember, we do have Drupal GovCon and Drupal 4 Gov as Twitter handles, so please encourage tweeting. There is a Facebook page as well if you want to go to there. So you remember that we do have Fire Marshal. He was by earlier today, so make sure you're not overwhelming the rooms. That's why we dynamically schedule and we move sessions around to make sure we're not overwhelming the room that we're there. Today is a special day for lunch. We are going to be outside again. We ordered and got delivery for beautiful weather outside, so make sure you go outside today. Today is a cookout. So we're ending with a cookout. We got a grill fired up out there. We're cooking burgers, dogs, boca burgers, all sorts of stuff out there. Everything will be outside unless you wanted a halal lunch. That will be inside at the registration table. And given the crowd, as long as you've got a badge, you can get in line. So we don't have to divide up confirmed and stuff. So go out there, enjoy the food. Thank you. Please, if you unsubscribe from our MailChimp, please resubscribe. We're going to use that to send out the survey. If you enjoyed this conference, you want to provide feedback of how we can do better, or you want to volunteer to help next year, please let us know. Either tell us in person or look for that survey. Let's see. Oh, and we're going to have a session at 2 o'clock. Watch the app. If you want to volunteer or learn more about that, come to the session at 2 o'clock. For volunteering. Yeah, so if you want to volunteer and help. So now, Aaron Pava from Civic Action, coming up to introduce our keynote speaker.
Good morning, good morning. It's great to be here. I'm Aaron Pava. I'm from Civic Actions. Civic Actions provides open, agile, and secure digital solutions for the federal government and also state and local. And we're once again really proud to participate in Drupal GovCon. It's truly one of our favorite events of the year. So this morning I am honored to introduce Julián because of his work and the work of Argentina's government innovators, because it so closely aligns with the work that we do at Civic Actions. They're an inspiration to our team, they're an inspiration to everyone in this room, and truly around the world. Julián Rodriguez Orihuela is the National Director of Digital Services for the government of Argentina. As the National Director of Digital Services for Argentina, he's in charge of the implementation of both the website for the country, argentina.gov.ar, as well as the citizen dashboard, My Argentina. Now, this platform is pretty extraordinary. It has a countrywide single sign-on for all the citizens of Argentina, and it shows citizen data from all the different government agencies and ministries. And additionally, they have some very innovative programs, including chatbots for expectant mothers and such. So to have conversational chat that will help reduce infant mortality rate. Julián was previously in charge of content and design of buenosaires.gov.ar, as well as part of the eGov office of the City of Buenos Aires, where he is also a co-founder of the New Media Office. In the Buenos Aires New Media Office, he was in charge of social media, the social media initiatives, multimedia design, digital products, and user experience. We are very excited to have him here with us today at Drupal GovCon. And I know after his presentation, he is very excited and open to take your questions from the presentation. So please welcome me. Quiero presentarte a Julián Rodrigo Orihuela. Bienvenidos.
Great. Thank you. Well, hello everyone. Can you hear me okay? Excellent. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about what we are doing right now in the Argentinian government. The idea is that we're going to keep this presentation really short because we want to hear from you. I want to hear from you and want to hear your questions and interact a little bit with you. So let me get my notes. Aaron did a great job of introducing me. I had this slide from before, so I don't know if it's important, but well, basically, I'm a National Director of Digital Services since 2016, since December 2015, really. My focus is working in improving the interface between citizen and government, be it a digital interface or an offline interface such as front desk, but with more focus on the digital initiatives. The biggest platforms that we have right now are argentina.gov.ar, which is our Drupal installation, which I'll be talking about deeply here, and My Argentina, which Aaron talked a little bit about, and some other platforms as well, and mobile applications. So what's Argentina like? Argentina is over here, in case you didn't know. Argentina is a beautiful country. We have like all sorts of climates. We have beautiful landscapes. It's innovative. It's amazing. And we're in the G20. We're hosting the G20 right now. But we're also very contradictory as a country. We have a huge deficit right now. We have like more than 25% of the citizens in poverty. So basically Argentina right now is in a journey. Argentina, the current administration took office in December 2015. As I told you before, I came with this administration with a strong emphasis in improving lives and having the government as a service provider, as a helper for the citizens, as a companion. And the Ministry of Modernization, which is the ministry where I work, has the mandate to work in making a more professional civil service using technology and of course using all the public employees that work in government. When we arrived, we saw that there was basically no digital strategy at all. So we arrived in December 2015, and we saw that, and we knew that there were like separate initiatives in different ministries, but nothing was connected between things, between ministries, and the platforms were very sparse and with totally different experiences for the citizens. So we started to think about what a strategy should look like. And we started with some principles. Okay, how should we serve citizens? And we know we have to focus on the citizen, which is something that we already know here and most governments already know right now. But in December 2015 in Argentina, this was not the case, and we had to push this agenda. We are one government. People don't need or we don't have to expect them to know every ministry, every department, every agency of government so they can interact and get a service from us as government. So we should act like that. We go to the citizen. This is a totally different approach than what we had before. And afterwards I'm going to explain what I mean by this. Also, an important one is we measure and improve. We don't have to get it right the first time. We have to have the humility. We have to be humble enough to say, okay, we don't know. We don't have all the answers. We know we have to do better than what we have right now. And maybe sometime in the future we're going to have to change. But that's the idea, constant improvement all the time, with the humility of saying, okay, we know we're not perfect all the time. And that for government is very hard to do. Government always wants to say, we are perfect, we're doing everything right. So we developed a strategy from those sort of principles that we had. We knew we had to rewrite all official websites and on all the guidance on all the services that these websites and these ministries and agencies provide the users or the citizens. So that was one of the key points that we knew we had to do. One website for the whole government. This is one of the parts in which this is heavy stuff for us to say, and we had some advantages and some disadvantages in implementing this. I'm going to be talking about it a little later. But basically, this has to do with consistency. This has to do with having a single voice from the government. Also, plan for multiple channels. And this has to do with going to look for the user where the user is and not expecting them to come to us in whatever channel we decide is the best for us. So basically, we have to do the extra legwork to get where the citizen is. And create standards and agile methodologies and all of the cool stuff that we know that works. And basically, this is because we cannot do all these things from one office in one ministry. We need to be able to create a community inside government where we share the same values, we share the same practices, and we can all be working in compass together towards a goal. In summary, I'm going to be talking about this part, basically. It's one website for all government needs, argentina.gov.ar. So, our first steps. In April 2016, we created our first version of our website, Argentina Gobar, and we took as a basis for it this website, which was basically like a service guide for all government service. I mean, the idea was fine, but the problem was it was really outdated. The people from the ministries didn't pay attention to this website, so they didn't care to update it. It was poorly written, inconsistent. It had lots of problems. But as a starting point, it wasn't so bad. So we incorporated all the service guides that were here inside Argentina Gobar first version. We weren't shy about putting beta in the name. We are okay with that. This has to do with saying to the people, okay, we're not perfect. We are starting something new and we're trying it. And please tell us. That bar at the top says that if you find a mistake, if you find a problem, you should tell us about it. So basically, we're trying to get a conversation going with the citizens. Also, we had an opportunity to migrate the Chief of Staff website and our own Ministry of Modernization website. We could create it from scratch. The ministry didn't exist before, so we had a couple of websites from the government with us at the first time. The next thing is, okay, how are we going to grow up? How are we going to get the rest of the ministries to get interested in this way of doing things, in this way of explaining things to the citizens, or in this way of helping them understand what they have to do to accomplish their tasks, to accomplish their goals? We had a mandate, like 1 year after we started in 2017, we had a mandate that basically says that all government websites have to be in Argentina Gov.ar. It's a presidential decree, so basically we can enforce that. But if you work in government, you know that having a mandate maybe sometimes it's not enough, and sometimes it's nothing. And they say, okay, you have a decree. Sometime maybe I'm going to collaborate with you. You have to understand that when we had this mandate, we were already working with 5 other ministries to migrate them to argentina.gov.ar. And these are some of the reasons why, and this is like a secret sauce. We don't recommend some of the parts here, and you're going to understand why, but one of these is having a consistent strategy that we had. We understood what we wanted. We also worked in the city government before, and we had a similar strategy, so it was not like an alien thing to all of government. Some of the people that came from the city government that was before to the presidency, they already knew us in some ways. We were the website guys, so maybe in some ways they could talk to us and they understood us. So that's one of the reasons why we already were working with 5 other ministries before having a mandate from the president. Having the presidential mandate is important. It's one of the tools you can use. The first two is good, bad. Having a huge deficit at the federal level is very bad. But for our purposes, it's not so bad because we can, I mean, the ministries have to think about what they're going to do with their money. You have a budget and you say, okay, I'm going to spend it all on a new website, or I'm going to spend it in helping the citizens achieve their goals and helping them get better services. Okay, so then you can understand how this dynamic can work in our favor. Another good thing is having a couple of big early adopters. I mean, having the Chief of Staff website in Argentina Govar it's a good thing for us. And another bad thing to have is scalability and security issues in the platforms that were already there. So, yeah, some of the new ministries, I mean, almost the whole cabinet changed, and the new ministries were found this website that were there since, I don't know when, maybe 4 years, 8 years or more. And they found that, and they said, okay, I don't want to have this problem anymore, so this is the sort of thing that could happen. We appeared in all the media because the Border Patrol website got hacked, and since it's a part of the security ministry, it's like a huge issue in all the newspaper, it appeared. So basically when we came to talk with these guys about migrating their website, they couldn't say anything to us. They say, okay, you're right, okay, let's go. Yeah. Like you were found out in a crime, okay, I'm going. I wanted to show you a little bit of Argentina Govar. This is the homepage for the Ministry of Transport. As you can see, we have like some accesses and then some news and specifically services, and then some of the sections of the ministry. I mean, I don't expect everyone to understand Spanish, sorry about that, but you get the gist of it. You may notice that we don't have the face of the minister or in the news of the minister shaking hands with another minister and all of that. That's also part of a strategy of the whole government about how to communicate. We want to communicate in a different way. We want to show basically what's going to impact the citizens. So basically we are very aligned with the Presidential Communications Office in that regard. This is the Ministry of Economy. We have the news first because the Ministry of Economy lives and dies by their news about how the economy is doing. We have the statistical things that I don't know anything about here, and latest reports and all of that, because that's what their population or their segment is going to look for. So we work with that. And this is like a service guide, how we're presenting the service guide for users. It's, okay, this is a specific program of Social Security. We explain to you what do you need to get it, and then all the steps you have to take to do it, how much it costs, and also a big green button if you can do any of the service online, and you go to the platform or to the transaction service that exists about that. And we have little faces at the bottom to say, okay, how did you understand this? Did you not understand this? How can we do better? So that's one way of understanding how to rewrite the content in a better way. Okay, where are we right now? Some statistics. We have 292 government organizations to be migrated to our website. These include ministries, the secretaries of those ministries, the undersecretaries, and the agencies, and some other stuff over there. We are 2/3 of the way of these 292 government organizations. We have 8 content types in Drupal. I mean, for a website that spans this wide, it's pretty manageable. We use faceted search with Solar, and then we have to do a better job with that. I mean, we talked to the guys from GDS, and they said no one gets search right, but you have to try it and you have to make it work whenever you can. So yes, we're working on that. And we use Panelizer for having the flexibility that you saw in the different transport and the different ministries' websites, such as transport, economy, maybe education is very different from that. So we use Panelizer for that right now. This is the volume of what we have right now. I mean, the services guides are 1,800, and we have areas, which is one of the content types. We have 600. These are home pages for the government areas, but also home pages, special topic pages for special information that any ministry or agency wants to produce. We have 14,000 news articles. I mean, all the press departments from every ministry and agency want to produce news all the time, so we train all of them to get to do it, and they do it all the time. And basically, like almost 9,000 pages of content between pages and book pages, which are like the common way of showing content in our platform. This is a breakdown of what we have right now. We migrated like 2/3 of the way. We have some exempt websites, which are most of them like specific platforms or public companies that have their own websites and their own teams that maybe sometimes are bigger than ours. So we just say, look, follow these standards and you're okay. You keep your website. Some of them have no website at all. And then we're as you can see in this drill down, this is a drill down by ministry. We're working in all ministries. We did something, either we did something or we are doing something in every ministry. And we want to achieve like 100% of this migration by the end of this year. That is our goal right now. How are we going? We have like 500,000 visits per day. 8 to 10 million visits a month, it depends on the month, but our service guides have an average rating of 3.4 out of 5 in that scale of little faces. Interior, transport, and education are the ministries that have the most traffic right now. And this is, well, basically a graph of the website of the visits since we started it. Well, a little later, but this spans 2 years until now. How we've been growing. These are in million visits. I hope right now you're asking yourselves this and know how are we doing it so slow. Well, as I said before, we have to work iteratively. We have to start with something, maybe the good enough and not the best thing, and to later improve. So we have like the version 1 of our migration of websites. When I say migration, maybe I'm confusing the things. I'm also talking about rewriting all the stuff in the websites, not migrating like using a script to move everything from website to another. I mean, sometimes we use that when we want to move the archive of news, for example, from one website to our Drupal website. But most of the time is rewriting content and changing it and moving it and showing it in a different perspective. So we have like the version 1, which we know is better than what they had previously. So basically what we're focused on is in having something better. It's not the best that we could do, but it's better. We adjust content based on Google Analytics, based on the priorities of the ministry, what they want to show first, and also we fight for the user in that moment, and we say, well, you want to show all of this, but the user wants more of this. So we come to a compromise in that space, and then we train hard the people that are going to be working on the website from every ministry. They all have their username and password to enter and create new pages, create news, create new sections of content. We focus on the service guides. I mean, this is like the most important thing for us. So basically, the service guides are touched only by us. We create and we maintain the service guides. What we do is we present them with the final version to the minister and to the ministry, and we say, okay, does it look good? It says everything that you need to say, but we write it ourselves at the moment. Maybe some other time we're going to let other agencies and organizations to touch them and work them by themselves. But right now we have to control this because for us it's the most important content type. Basically what people go and search for when they go to argentina.gov.ar. We don't bother with the ad hoc features that exist in the legacy websites. If you have like something that queries different databases and shows a very interesting graph and things like that, okay, you have to work on the UI to make it look like it's part of the same government, but you're going to maintain it yourself in your ministry. So that's how we're trying to move fast. And we want to achieve like 100% of migration at the end of the year, which would be like 3-year total to migrate the whole government into one platform. Since we are in government and we all have to compromise and we have to basically show the thing, show what's good, what's the definition of good, we also work with the Ministry of Health, we work with the presidency and then the press department of the presidency in some specific topics that they want to create landing pages, or they want to create some topic pages that are important for them to communicate. So this is, for example, this is about vaccines and vaccines calendar. This is the importance of donating blood, creating a map of where you can donate blood, donating your organs, and then emergency situations, how to do CPR, lots of information that we worked on like very specifically. So these are like parallel efforts that we do differently than the migrations that we're doing right now. And what's next? What's next for us? Basically, we want to end this year with 100% of the ministries migrated, and next year we want to dedicate it to do some content audits of all the contents in all the ministries, to adjust what is needed, to understand what content works and what contents do not, and also to make the ministries and organizations understand the importance of maintaining their content. Most of them think because it's cheap, it's free to create new pages, they can create whatever they want. So it's our role to help them understand that they have to maintain all of this, they have to understand that this is official information that comes from government, and sometimes it's hard for them to understand this kind of thing. Well, with this goes the thing about getting rid of PDF and all of that. We have lots of PDFs in different ministries, and we want to slowly but surely try to eradicate them and transform them to a better kind of content. Do some user research. We want to do a specific user research about the content of the ministries, and we do some user research on services, and specifically on the top 10 or top 20 services that people need. But we want to do specific user research on the content of the ministries, specifically with the target population that they have, and see if people understand it, see if there's some content that is needed and is not there, that is very important to have. Also, thinking about end-to-end services, we basically have right now transactions, and we want to be able to group these transactions on what we may call a journey for the citizen. The citizen is going to think about getting a house or having a kid or things like that, and we want to show all the transactions that you have to do for that. The people at GDS are experimenting with this kind of thing. We talked to the Massachusetts guys about this the other day also. They are thinking about it, and we need to start thinking about this too. Well, platform-wise, we need to go to a multi-language platform. We want to have like the top services translated to English and also to native languages of the country. And thinking about multi-platform. Right now, we are sort of multi-platform. We have a mobile application, a native mobile application that uses an API from Drupal to extract services and show them in the native application. So, but as it's been talked about here, about Alexa and Google Home and all these kind of devices that are appearing right now, we need to understand what's going to come next and where will we find the user. Also, I don't know, chatbots, for example, is something we're experimenting with right now. So we have to be prepared for that. And that's it. Thanks. I'm open for questions. Yes, use the microphones in the halls.
Hi, you say you have 8 content types. How do you keep that discipline? That's what I want to know. Like, how did you do that? That's like magic.
Yeah, we have like an 8-people content team that's going about like training people on how to use this and helping the government agencies understand how they should create content and elaborate it and work on it and edit it and everything else. But sometimes we see weird things happening with our content. We do some audits from time to time. We check the websites and we try to keep them in line, but sometimes we have to let it go. I mean, right now we're focused on a task, which is getting to the end of the year with the whole government migrated. And maybe it's like a problem for next year, as we're going to be dedicated to understanding if we need more content types, specific content types that weren't there before, and also if we need to add new features that they already had in their previous, in their legacy websites and all of that, and start creating these features again inside Drupal so they can be used by the whole of government and not by just one department. But right now we are like focusing, putting everything in, and don't get me wrong, it's already better than what they had before. So this is like, yeah, it's versions. I mean, we have the first version, and we're going to have a second version that's going to be better, and the next one is going to be better than that. That's the idea of what we're doing. Yes?
Excuse me. I'm hearing a lot about delivering services and information to the community. I'm wondering if you're doing anything to create two-way communication, to get feedback from citizens or two-way engagement. We have what you saw there earlier at the bottom of the service pages. We have this kind of feedback situation in which you can evaluate if you understood or not the service guide, if it helped you or not. And we have a form that you can fill with a problem or information on when something went wrong or something like that. But right now we are working on having a system of evaluating how a service worked. For example, if you take an appointment, we are going to send you a survey afterwards and see if the service worked for you or not, if you were able to do what your goal was. And another platform that we are creating is for complaints. So if, for example, your pension took, I don't know, 6 months to, you didn't have your pension for 6 months because there was some bureaucratic problem or something, you can complain, and that factors in a statistical way in showing basically the chief of staff and showing the ministry in charge of that, look, you're having a problem here, and how are you going to solve it. But these are all next steps for us. Right now, all we have is this evaluation and a feedback form, a simple feedback form that goes to our email, and then we can forward it to the ministry that has to deal with that.
Hi. So you said that you're kind of merging and migrating all of these different sites into one main site, and there's various people that you're training. How are you handling permissions?
Well, there are, I think, I don't remember, maybe I don't remember exactly, but we have like 5 or 6 different sort of roles. We have an administrator role that our developers use. We have a creator of content role. So you can create content, but you cannot publish anything. That's for the government agencies. We use organic groups to divide what you can see and where you can operate. And we have a publisher role. Sometimes the ministries want the same people that are producing the content and publishing the content to be the same. So we can combine both roles into one. And we have like a reviewer that can check out what the other people have published, or have written, but is not published. And we have one special role that can use Panelizer and can move more advanced stuff in the layout of the pages. But those roles are not given very easily to everyone. It's for special cases when we know people from the other government area and we know they know HTML, we know they know about Drupal, we know that they can behave, basically.
Hi. When you ran the beta version of your site, how did you measure how well it's doing other than asking for feedback from the user itself?
Sorry, when we ran what?
The beta version of your site?
Yes. We measured with Google Analytics, we measured with this kind of feedback that we had, and yeah, not much else. And the satisfaction from our internal users also.
So did the user feedback actually measure in a way that it affected the design, or did you change the site?
A little bit, not so much as it maybe should have, but yes, a little bit. We changed some of the things. Also, we had like criticisms on Twitter and everywhere else, so we took that into account also.
So to follow up on that question, did you do like usability testing or user testing or?
Yes, we do usability testing. Specifically, we do user research for most of the services, the service guides. These are like our main points. We don't care. Someone listening at home, I'm sorry, but we don't really care that much about the ministry's websites. I mean, that's the focus of that ministry, and they are going to care about it. So we can chill in that regard. So, but we know we have to care about the service guides because that's what the user is looking for, and that's what they need to accomplish a goal. So that's where we focus our user research. And we do it. I mean, we are the 8th biggest country in the world, and we do it. We go to different parts of the country, and we do user research in remote locations and with people that have disability, with people that are in poverty, with people with totally different backgrounds, to understand what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Someone else? Okay, we have barbecue for lunch, so everyone's going to go. We'll see about that. Okay, thank you very much.